Hi, my name's Lauren.
Hi, my name's Brooke.
I'm Julia.
And I'm Mariah.
So, for our topic of interest, we chose how COVID-19 has impacted people's everyday lives. And while we were researching, we found great articles. One example is an article that's called Ensuring and Sustaining a Pandemic Workforce. And as you can see, there's a current theme in all these articles, which led us to our narrow topic of how COVID-19 has directly affected the workforce. And we felt this was a good theme because it's something that I feel like most people can relate to, even if they're not working right now. We've all had jobs, or maybe not, but I feel like most people have. So we felt this was a great topic to choose. Okay, so for our dependent variables, they are work performance, job satisfaction, and expectations. Work performance is, has it changed based on your setting? Worth ethic, have you noticed you get distracted easily? Do you have a family? Do you have babies? Are they loud? Or are you in the office and it's quiet? And your workload, has that changed since going remote? And then the next, job satisfaction, do you have more or less time with your family or more time for yourselves? Are you happier working from home, or do you prefer being in the office, or do you even have a choice? And your expectations is, has your boss expected more out of you, or understood due to the circumstances you might not be able to give everything that you had did before? So have your day-to-day work expectations changed since COVID? And then independent variables include work from home environment, an office workspace environment, and time. So for work from home environment, is it good or bad? How has it affected you? An in-office workspace environment, your opinions on the mask. Do you like them? Is it hard to work all day with them? And how has the physical space changed? Meaning, are you home? Are you in work? Are you in the office? Or do you have like plexiglass? Are you spaced out? And then lastly, time. Have you been more productive? Have you needed extensions with getting work done? Are people lenient about this, or do you feel more pressure to get work done? So is your boss lenient and understanding about the circumstances and due to COVID? Or have your coworkers been lenient as well?
Okay, so with our hypothesis, we picked COVID-19 has affected the ways in which individuals perform at the workplace or in their new work from home environment. And our research question is, how has the current health climate of the past year affected your overall productivity? And we came to those by assuming that a lot of things have changed this past year, and especially everybody's work environment, whether they're home or in the office. So we felt that our hypothesis could either be proven or disproven, and our research question had to reflect that as well, so that in the questionnaire we weren't giving away our hypothesis, but giving enough information so that the participants understood what we were asking. And then our questionnaire construction, we picked the Dichromatis scale, and it's a yes or no style, and we felt that that would work best with our questions. And then we had questions directly related to the variables. So for an example, one of the questions is, do you prefer your work environment since COVID? And the variable correlation goes with the independent variable about work from home environment. And then for another example, another question was, do you find working more difficult since COVID? And the variable correlation there is dependent, and that's work performance. Okay, and then for sampling and execution, we chose a convenience sampling way of distributing our survey. So convenience sampling, according to our book, is in convenience sampling, the researcher selects those people who are convenient to locate and identify as potential respondents. So for examples, we sent our survey to family members and friends through email and text messages. We also posted on our social media accounts such as Facebook. And when selection was an option, we selected people who we knew were currently employed. In the case of posting on social media, we couldn't carefully select as much.
And then the description of our respondents, they were primarily the ages between 16 and 60. And we asked our friends, immediate family, and extended family to take our questionnaire. The respondents were mainly female, but they did consist of all genders. And then after the data analysis, we received 70 responses. 61% were ages 16 through 30, 3% were 30 through 40, 20% were 40 through 50 years old, and 16% were 50 to 60. 73% of the respondents were females, 26% were males, and 1% were other. 77% of respondents are currently employed, while 23% are not. 91% of respondents weren't remote before COVID-19, while 9% were, and 55% of respondents are currently working remote, while 45% are not. And then I believe this is the rest of the data analysis. So 64% of respondents reported that their work hours haven't changed, while 36% said theirs have. 62% of respondents say that work is more difficult since COVID-19, and 38% of respondents say theirs aren't. 64% of respondents don't prefer their new work environment, while 36% do. 58% of respondents say that their expectations have changed, while 42% claim theirs haven't. And 85% of respondents do feel safe in their new work environment, while 15% don't.
Okay, so this is a continuation of the data analysis, and we performed t-tests using the IBM software. So some of the things that we found with the inferential statistics, the results are non-significant and indicate females found work more difficult since COVID-19 than males. Results are non-significant and indicate females feel more safe in their work environment than males. Results are non-significant and indicate more males are currently employed than females. Results are significant and indicate that more females are currently working remotely than males. Results are non-significant and indicate more males had remote jobs prior to COVID-19 than females. Results are non-significant and indicate more females' work hours have changed compared to males. Results are non-significant and indicate males have experienced a different in-work expectations since COVID-19 compared to females. And results are non-significant and indicate males prefer their new work environment since COVID-19 compared to females. And we know that results are non-significant or significant because we look at the p-value, and if the p-value is greater than 0.05 or less than 0.05, that's how we indicate that. And then the M equals mean in the parentheses for all of these, and the SD equals standard deviation. Another continuation, we did the correlation. So this was the Pearson correlation. So individuals' ages in the sample were negatively correlated and had no significance with their current employment status. R equals negative 1.39 and P equals 0.259. So the R is the Pearson correlation example, and that's how we know that they're negatively correlated. And the had no significance is because P equals 0.259, and that is greater than 0.05. So individuals' ages in the sample were positively correlated and had no significance with whether or not they are working remotely now. Individuals' ages in the sample were negatively correlated and had a significance with whether or not their jobs were remote prior to COVID-19 or not. Individuals' ages in the sample were negatively correlated and had no significance with how their work hours have changed. And lastly, individuals' ages in the sample were positively correlated and had a significance with whether or not they found work more difficult since COVID-19.
And this is just another discussion of our findings. So most of our respondents were in the 16 to 30 age range. More than half of our respondents were female. Most people are still employed or have at least found a new job since COVID-19. Most of our respondents weren't remote until COVID-19, and about half of them remained remote. Most respondents' hours haven't changed. However, most respondents agreed that their work has gotten harder and their expectations have changed since COVID-19. More than half of our respondents prefer their old work environment. However, most feel safe in their current work environment.
So this is our questionnaire that we sent out to people, group chats like we mentioned before, posted on our social media sites, family, friends. So we got our data and our information from there, and here's our responses that we got. The Google form was very helpful and very easy to make this questionnaire. it was a great tool and a great resource. And then here are the pictures from our data using the IBM software. So here's a list of the frequencies and the statistics for descriptives. If you keep clicking, we just go through and it continues to describe that. So this is still descriptives. Most of these are, we took a lot of examples, so there's a lot of pictures. Still descriptives, just making sure the percentages and the comparisons with that. And then right here, so this is our data view section on the software. This is where we took our information from our code book and we insert it into the software to help us figure out our data analysis and really just understand who our respondents were, their feelings, and to answer the questionnaire. So this goes through, and those at the top, age is statistical, gender is nominal, and the rest are ordinal. And then these are just more of the findings that we found. T-tests, independent, inferential statistics, descriptives, Pearson correlations. Just the different comparisons of the topics that we chose. Yep. And that's it for our questionnaire. Thank you for listening. We hope you learned something today. And we had a good time doing it. It was very interesting finding out this information, especially when it was the people closest to us. So it was great to hear that from them. Thank you.
Thank you.